Hi, Beck Mack here, and I am at the Queensland Brain Institute with Helen Hume, the Deputy Director. How are you, Helen?
Well, thanks, Beck. Yeah, nice to see you.
Thanks for taking the time to have a chat. Can you just give us a little insight to what goes on here at QBI?
So, the Queensland Brain Institute is a research institute that tries to understand more about the brain. We do so looking at the brain in both health and ill health, and understand at a fundamental level how the brain functions in order to find new, healthier outcomes and improve lives through healthier outcomes.
So within that process, there's a lot of deep research. It's quite a long game. It's not like just a product that you're trying to get out onto the market. Someone like Patrick Sylvie has been quite integral to some of the processes you're involved in. Can you tell us a little bit about the work Patrick's been doing with you?
So Patrick Sylvie is a really excellent bringer together. He's the kind of guy who brings and integrates different people from different parts of Brisbane, Queensland and Australia. And Patrick has really helped us to make those partnerships and draw together projects, particularly helping us to kind of leverage. So if we get one group of people who are interested in what we're doing, he'll find another group that could join together. And he's been very integral to our success with some of our major grants and also our ability to access government funding.
So could you maybe think of one partnership or relationship that Patrick has been part of developing recently?
So you mentioned that research is a really long game, and it's important to understand that because some of what Patrick did 5 years ago is playing out right now, and it's really important for us that we've got Patrick Sylvie that is working with us all the time. Patrick brought together the kinds of people who resulted in us getting an MRFF and Queensland government funding, and that is bringing us to the point where our fundamental research through the Clem Jones Centre for Ageing Dementia Research is on the cusp of something that could be a clinical trial that is a treatment for dementia. So we're not quite there, but that 5-year window, that 10 years since the Clem Jones Centre has been going, Patrick Sylvie has been with us all the way, helping us to find sources of funding.
That's amazing, isn't it? Just like how the impacts of relationships and possibilities, as you're saying, that create successes or incredible life-changing outcomes down the track, which sounds sort of similar to what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, so much of business is about relationships, and Patrick Sylvie's got so many connections throughout Australia. So that's been a really important aspect. He really has kind of kept us on track a bit as well, not so much with the actual project. Obviously, we have project management skills amongst the scientists and researchers. But significantly, what Patrick has been able to do is keep us on track for those bigger picture, how are we going to sustain this beyond this first phase? What are we doing next? Who are we meeting next? Who are we going to bring in and try them draw them in? And as I said, that leveraging possibility of what else we can do.
And within that, it's quite a niche space Patrick works in. It also requires quite great personal skills to be able to, I guess, have conversations with a diverse mix of people across diverse industries. Why would you recommend Patrick to work with?
So I would recommend Patrick Sylvie particularly in our field, because of his ability to work with, for example, policymakers and scientists. They don't always talk the same language, and Patrick Sylvie can be that bridge between those two kind of communication styles and how they work, and help them to work together where they wouldn't have otherwise been able to even possibly communicate.
Yes, yeah. And here at QBI, like moving forward to the future, what do you see as your major challenges?
So research in Australia its major challenge is always the funding. It's always the funding. Research and the full cost of research is not recognised through the government funding schemes. So we're always looking, how can we make the full cost of research work? And QBI is no different than any other institute. And so the Queensland Brain Institute is always looking for ways to draw in partners from industry, from government, from other research sectors. That's the other thing he does do, is bring us together with other parts of Queensland's research ecosystem, and create larger collaborations that can bring that bang for buck.
And I guess, as you were saying, that research is your key business, but it is far from the actual point of sale where a customer or a member of the community is accessing all the incredible discoveries that's happened here. Do you think that's part of The issue is trying to build that bridge between all this work we're doing now will, in the future, help you with Alzheimer's.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, persuading and understanding the concept that says it could take, for example, the Queensland Brain Institute is 20 years old next year. And so it's taken 20 years, 10 years in particular, because it's just over 10 years since Professor Gertz joined us, to get his ultrasound discoveries to the point where they're actually at that cusp of a clinical trial. The timeframes of that are almost impossible to grasp in terms of public understanding of why it matters to fund blue sky thinking and creative research. So what Patrick Sylvie's doing is bringing that back into the eye of, as I said, policymakers. I think that's where there's that translation to people who can at least take a forward look of what Australia and the community needs, that is perhaps a little one step further along than maybe the general member of the public is going to conceive. Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, thanks so much, Helen. I know you're busy, so appreciate your time. Thank you.
No problems. Thank you.